Good morning, Empire, Amp family, Amp community. What is going on? Welcome back to another daily analysis looking at Amp only. Taking a look at CoinGecko.com, we can see that we are down 0.03%, right? Nothing too crazy. We are still floating right on our support zone. And in today's daily analysis, I really just want to dig deep around the conversation of managing expectations, right? So let's hop on over to our charts and take a look at the daily, right? Again, we're going to talk about managing expectations in today's daily analysis, right? We don't have anything too crazy going on with the charts, right? We did say that it was a strong possibility that we will wick up to our trend line and possibly get rejected and then come back down to our support. And that's exactly what happened, right? That's exactly what played out. Even though Flexa has some amazing news partnering with Income Payments, right? That definitely did grab the attention of the masses, right? We have, an amazing video that was put out yesterday by BitBoy talking about Flexa and AMP specifically. And, it's a universal use case, not just a one-stop shop use case, but a universal use case for payments and also transfers of value, right? We have to be realistic about our expectations, right? This isn't a token that is going to, moonshot overnight, right? If you're wondering why the volume for AMP is so low in comparison to other coins in the cryptocurrency market in the top 10 or the top 20, it's because this isn't really a token that's based on trading, right? The utility of this token is not made to trade. The utility of this token is to facilitate safe, secure, and network agnostic, as well as low fee transactions, right? For any transfer of value, whether if it's, in the crypto space or in the traditional finance space or any industry, right? And that's how the true value of AMP builds up, right? So that's that. And, it's very possible that, we could float around our support zone for a few more days, possibly weeks, right? Because again, managing our expectations, right? The volume of AMP is not based on how much people trade it. It's based on how many transactions are processed through the Flexa network, right? We did invalidate that this bearish pennant was going to play out, and we were able to confirm that this was a fake out, right? So what's next, right? What's next? I know floating around our support zone isn't really that exciting, but this is the great time to buy. Again, we have a floor price, right? And let's clear our charts for a minute, right? Let's just clear our charts and let's look at some indicators, right? It's very rare that I do use indicators, but the ones that I do use, they give me the signals that I'm looking for, right? So let's look at the bull market support band, right? Now, as long as the candlesticks are above the bull market support band, right, that this indicator tells you that we are in a bull market, right? If the candles were below this, somewhere below here, if they were below the support band, that would indicate that we are not in a bull market, right? That would let us know that we're in a bear market, right? And what do we see looking at AMP's charts after we turned on the bull market support band, right? We're above it, right? We have one impulse, right? We stayed above it, stayed above it, stayed above it, came down, we touched it again May 23rd, right? Okay. And then what happened? We pushed right back up, right? And this is why I always say it's good to extend your trend lines, because let's say that this bull market support band continues to go up, right? Let's say it just moves along in that fashion, right? And let's say that, we continue to move sideways on the charts, right? Let's move sideways for a bit, right? Where do these two intersect? July 16th, right? That's only a few days away. Today is July 10th. It's only 6 days away. It's less than a week away, right? And, from my previous videos, I did say that the ascending triangle that, Bitcoin is following, it's slightly below it right now, but I did expect something to happen on or before July 15th for Bitcoin specifically, right? So these two things are just lining up, to the T, right? But that's just one case scenario, right? Using the bull market support band, right? Let's take this off and move back, right? And look at our charts again. Okay, cool. Let's erase it and let's throw another indicator on there, right? Let's look at the polynomial regression band, right? Now, this function is very mathematic in depth, right? For anybody that doesn't understand what the polynomial regression band is, right? It's basically a channel that functions as a mathematical formula, right? And the very definition of this, let's look it up really quick. The very definition of this, because I don't want to mess this up for y'all. It's pretty simple, but essentially, it's a statistical formula, right, that calculates a regression analysis. And it does that by formulating a relationship between an independent variable, which is X, and a dependent variable, which is Y, and then it's modeled on the charts, right? So that's what we have right here for, AMP. And, we can see that it's been following this polynomial regression channel for quite some time, right? If we zoom all the way out, right? It's literally been following this channel, right? And, the big run up that we did see going up to 12 cents, it hit the very top of the regression analysis, right? So by hitting that, it was bound to, come back down, right? These mathematical formulas are calculated using the data from the charts. And, I say this over and over and over. Indicators are nice to use, but all indicators are lagging indicators, right? The primary source of data that we get from the charts are from the candlesticks. Why from the candlesticks? Well, because this is where everything happens, right? We have our open, we have our close, we have our high, and we have our low, right? That's the data points that all indicators use, and it can't reflect what's happening until candlesticks close, right? On all time frames. So, again, let's just extend our trend lines, right? Let's extend our indicators. Let's say that the bottom of this polynomial regression extends in this way, right? And let's say that we continue to move sideways where current price action is, right? Where do these possibly intersect, right? They possibly intersect on July 22nd, right? A few more days away from July 15th and July 16th, but it's lining up, right? We can see that it's lining up perfectly, right? So let's take these away and let's go back to our original drawing, our original technical analysis, right? Let's say we did move sideways for a bit, right? Let's leave it right here to July 18th. Well, what's happening on our current TA, right? On our current TA, we see decreasing volume, right? We see decreasing selling volume, and we see a little bit of increasing buying volume, right? So if that follows and it levels out, then it's possible that, buying volume could kick up and, reach a current or reach a previous peak of buying volume over here, right? So when the market does start to turn, what does that bring us? July 18th. Do you see how all of this is lining up, right? And I'm being very realistic. being completely unbiased, and just also counter trading my own bias, right? AMP is not going to moonshot. That's the realistic thing. But we do know that we are definitely due for a market turn, right? We know that right now this is our floor price, right? And that's been shown historically just by looking at the data, right? And we just have to be patient, right? We just have to be patient because this token, again, isn't meant to trade. We don't know when Flexa is going to turn on the switch for Shopify or in-com payments or for CeeLo or for Sitcom. We don't know when Flexa is going to turn on the switch for all of their partners to start accepting crypto and processing alternative form of payments on their network. But when they do, we will see a nice and steady incline in price, because again, AMP is not based on how much people trade it or how many people hold it. It's based on network utility. And we can see a whole bunch of big players, partnering with Flexa, understanding the benefits of not only, accepting alternative forms of payment, but also being able to create new business revenue models by purchasing AMP off the open market and by staking AMP to earn AMP rewards, right, from the network fees accrued from the Flexa network. So, if you're not excited about that, I don't know why you wouldn't, because, this is literally generational wealth happening here, right? So, again, let's look at the 4 hour, right, to see what's going on here. We are still respecting our market structure of this accumulation period, right? We do still have our bullish harmonic crab in the picture, right? And again, I said that, the bigger the move up, the longer the consolidation period, and the longer the consolidation period, the bigger the move up again, right? So, we've been consolidating for quite some time. If we measure this out on a 4 hour, we can see that, up until today, we've been consolidating for 13 days and 16 hours, almost 2 weeks, right? By the end of this week, that will put us in an accumulation period of 2 weeks, 14 days, right? Building up a even bigger case that, we have very, very, very strong support. And I've said this, a number of times. And last but not least, let's take a look at the 1 hour for AMP. We can see, the same thing happening, right? This accumulation period is confirmed. We have our sign of strength. We've tested our support line. We got rejected. We came right back down to, our support zone, and we have not broken that since, So that's what we have going on for AMP. And again, guys, it's all about managing your expectations, right? And understanding how the value of AMP will grow. It's not from people trading it. It's from the network utility. And again, we don't know when Flexa is going to hit that switch, but we know that they can. In the same way that they hit the switch and they turned on Doge payments, right? That was a historic day, right? It's mind blowing how quick, a payment network can say, okay, we're now going to start accepting Doge, and Doge is going to be accepted in all of our 41,000 global merchants. And they did it just like that, in a click of a button, right? So we just have to be realistic and manage our expectations for AMP, and also be patient. So let's take a look at Bitcoin really quick. Wait for this to load. Okay, great. All right, so now we have, the Bitcoin chart. And again, we knew that, we were in a accumulation period for Bitcoin. This has now been in an accumulation zone for 51 days, right? After this big, massive selling climax, right? We have all of the conditions of the Wyckoff theory of accumulation happening right now, right? And, yesterday I did say that if we can close this candlestick as a a tweezer bottom, then we should see some momentum up. And right now we are currently being held down by this resistance line, right? This is the fib 786, right? But if we can get above this, right, then the next golden fib number will be the fib 618, right? And for anybody who doesn't know what a tweezer bottom is, I put this inside of the Reddit thread yesterday. But basically, these two candlesticks right here, right, 1 and 2, July 9th and July 8th, this is confirmation that we have a tweezer bottom. And a tweezer bottom is, a sign of upward momentum. So, tweezer bottom, let's type that in, just so you guys can, understand that I'm coming from a place of truth and a place of, thorough analysis, just understanding candle structures. Tweezer bottoms, they normally always go up. We can see it right here, right? And this is just understanding how to read candlesticks, right? Tweezer bottoms, they go up. Tweezer tops, they go down. Tweezer bottoms, the long wicks at the bottom of the candlestick, that lets us know that there is a lot of buying pressure. Tweezer tops, right, the long wicks at the top of the candle, that lets us know that there's a lot of selling pressure, so the market is due for a reversal, right? And that's exactly what we have going on for Bitcoin. We have a tweezer bottom, right? Look at right here, it just lines up. So as long as we can get above this fib 786 level, then I think that we could see some momentum happening like this, right? We can get above it, and then boom, right? That would bring us to the $37,000 price range. And again, the end of this ascending triangle is July 15th, right? So I think that next week should be a pretty exciting week, not just for Bitcoin, but for AMP also. So that brings us to the end of today's daily analysis. If you guys like this content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And until tomorrow, peace.